Abundance, abundance, my people. Gratitude, gratitude, and abundance. Now, before I go any further, my video is not racism. My video does not promote racism, and it does not promote hate. My video actually promotes unity amongst your own species. That's exactly what my video promotes. Now, I never knew that speaking about genetics, DNA, which accordingly comes from the creator, God. Your genetic comes from the creator. I never thought at any point in time that that would be considered racist because there is a group of people on a planet have genetic material from different animals on the planet in order to make one living organism. The argument about skin color is primitive. And when I say primitive, I mean it's really primitive, because your skin color is determined by the DNA that's inside of your genes. Excuse me, it's determined by your genes that's inside of your DNA. I had it backwards. Your skin color is determined by the genes that makes up your DNA. So your phenotype comes from genetics. So your phenotype is your hair, your eyes, your skin, your physiology, the way your organs are placed inside of your body. All of that comes from the genes that's inside of your DNA. So this is not about skin color. The only people that continue to try to make it out to be racist and about skin color are people that have undeveloped brains. And when you have an undeveloped brain, you can only gravitate to things that fit your narrative. You can't think beyond this. You can't think beyond what's in front of you because you are ashamed and guilty. You are ashamed of who you are and guilty. I have a guilty conscience about the bloodline that you are attached to that did nothing but genocide across the entirety of this planet. So again, genetics is not racism. And here we go right here. This is sunscreen being put on, but you're looking at it through a ultraviolet light. You're looking at sunscreen. You're looking at these two what you would call white women that is putting sunscreen on, but you see what the sunscreen look like through a ultraviolet light. When you squeeze the sunscreen out the tube without the ultraviolet light, it looks like a white cream or a clear cream. But when you place it on your skin underneath the ultraviolet light, because this is how the sun looks at you as well, it's black. You're literally putting black tar on your body. Now, the difference between sunscreen and hydrocarbon, which so-called black people which so-called black people have, and hydrocarbon is produced by melanin, neuromelanin. Only neuromelanin produces hydrocarbon. So the difference between this hydrocarbon that encapsulate my soul, which is the sun, and sunscreen, is that my hydrocarbon absorb the sunlight. It absorb magnetic frequencies. That sunscreen is designed to block out ultraviolet light and protect your skin. I don't need protection from the sun. And this is a scientific, a biological, genetic fact. So this is not about skin color. This is about the genes that make up your DNA, the genes that are inside of your DNA that makes up your phenotype, which again is your hair, your eyes, your skin, your melanin that you possess, your physiology, your organs and their placement. This is about the genes that's in your DNA that makes up your phenotype. This is not about skin color. So those that keep screaming skin color have a guilty mind, and they want to detach themselves from their own genetics, and they consider it racist when you speak about the differences and why so-called black people don't possess any animal DNA, but everyone else has animal DNA to make up a living organism. So stop it. So stop it. How could you be ashamed of what God made you of? That doesn't make any sense. Or unless we have two different gods, which Zachariah Sitchin spoke about, that there was a group of extraterrestrials that came to Earth and seeded a group of people here. And this is one of the things that they wasn't allowed to do was reproduce. But what happened was when they broke us spiritually, when they disconnected us from the sun and started getting us to be densified, we started eating all their food. We started performing some of their characteristics, the hatred that we have for one another. We became hardened. So we became detached from the solar system, which is spirituality. And then in the process of that, we were being raped and we were interbreeding. So we can cut the bull crap. All of this information is coming out and there's nothing that no one can do about it. Pause.
There's a lot of set apart black people that know the truth. In fact, probably a lot more set apart black people know the truth. In fact, I know they are, than white people. But there's a few of us white people that's in on the truth, and we know that most of the black people they're not on the narrow path. So they don't know the truth. And they're coming for vengeance. And Yah has even stirred them up a lot worse than what they normally are. Oh, Yah, the Creator's reaching there and stirred the pot. He's made them even more mad at the white people. So, you better get out of the cities. You better get out of the big cities if you're white. And there's probably a few black people that might get on here and give you a warning too, because they're in the know. Payback is a bitch. You're about to find that out. A lot of the horrific things that was done to the dark-skinned people's been hidden. So those things are going to come to life because they're going to become real for the opposite race. Everything turns upside down and backwards at some point. What a time to be white, huh? Daggone it. Man, I mean, all people's lives, it seemed like the black people wanted to be white. There's going to come a time when the white people's going to want to become black. Very, very, very soon. I'll guarantee you that 95, after about 2 or 3 months in hell, you're probably going to wish you was black. Because the blacks are going to rule.
Pause. Now, again, what he stated was correct. These black people, so-called black people out here that wanted to be white, that wanted to live like these white folks, wanted to use Stockholm Syndrome and separate themselves because they get money, they got a paycheck, you know what I'm saying? They got a career, they got a job, they got an acting career, they get millions of dollars. You have the slightest idea what's taking place on this planet. You have the slightest idea. You have listen, you have, all I can say is this, is be ready. Be ready. The same way that you perform for that white man, you're going to perform for the real divine brothers that's going to be walking on this planet. Believe that when the dust settles, because like I told you, when it comes down to the one apple and the one water on the table, we're going to find out how much you got a bodyguard. We're going to find out how much that money means something. We're going to find that out real soon, real soon. You don't see how the universe is setting this all up for everybody on the planet. More importantly, our people. See, the 7-year tribulation ain't got nothing to do with the artificial race. It ain't got nothing to do with other people. The 7-year tribulation was for us. Trust me when I tell you. And it's going to show itself real soon. Believe that. Everyone that think everyone that's using Stockholm Syndrome, everyone that came up off the psychological destruction of so-called black people, every last one of us, even our own people that came up off of us, capitalizing off of our destruction. You are going to deal with a whole lot of shit, and Mother Universe is going to give you your karma back. Believe me when I tell you. It is what it is. And he ain't got to say that the fact that there's a lot of things going to come to the light, that the genocide, the scientific experiments, the medical experiments on women and children over the years, especially during slavery, without anesthesia, any type of painkillers or nothing, all the stuff that they were doing to us, all that stuff, you have decided our memory is coming back. That's why it's only the real ones, only the real ones see the light, because they know that they are the light. This is what I'm telling you. A lot of people think I'm going to get powers, I'm going to be moving around like Superman and Black Adam. No, you're not. No, you're not, because your heart is not in the right place. This ain't about destroying a physical being. This is about destroying the psychological being that's sitting inside of your mind, that's having you believe that you are actually a French toast human, and that you literally couldn't work together with your brother and sister and build your own community up and police your own community. And you allow another species to teach, raise, and guide your own children. This is what this is about. This ain't about physically killing somebody. This is about mentally growing. And if you ain't there yet, ain't nowhere in the world that the universe is going to so-called bless you with what you would call that active immortality gene. If you can forget about it. And I promise you that. I value and appreciate you all. But again, like I told you in the beginning of this video, the sun isn't racist. You can look at genetics and DNA, biology and chemistry or neurology. You can look at that as racist all you want. But the bottom line is that we are the organic species, not of the planet, but the entire cosmos. And Earth is just one of our stumping grounds. And when we came here, the greatest test was to strip Superman and Superwoman of their immortality ability and their memory, and make them rely on one another, so that way that they can grow as a nation. But what happened is we got separated. So this is the best time to show who you truly are, to cement yourself amongst the stars and not the stars down here in Hollywood and get in front of this TV, this 1 hour monster down here. But you don't realize you on TV the whole entire time. I value, appreciate you, and abundance to you all. Gratitude.